Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It's Wednesday, yeah?
The whole motherfucking day.
It's not just any Wednesday, is it, Justin Havens? It's not just any Wednesday. This is a special day, isn't it, Jay Hay?
I too am very excited that the whole podcast is reunited.
That is true. It's been quite some time.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had the full roster going, but let's just say today is among the most special days.
Oh, it sure is, folks. We have another one. It's Baines Meter time. Trea Turner is the honoree today. He is the fourth player that we have inducted into Club 38.8 this season. Obviously, on the heels of Juan Soto, Carlos Santana, and Matt Chapman, the newest future Hall of Famer to cross the Baines line, did so since the last podcast. He's the 14th player in the Baines Meter modern era, which, as everyone, of course, knows, began in 2023. Turner achieves the mark in less than half of the career games as Harold Baines. Turner has now played 1,201 games. Harold Baines, of course, played 2,830, a number that everyone knows. Turner, after something of a slow start, he had a 730 OPS as late as May 18th, has hit 308, 363, 549. That's good for a 912 OPS since May 19th, which is a span of 32 games. He obviously, between he and Harold, he's the one with the championship. He's now surpassed Harold in career wins above replacement. And I think that means we're going to be asking ourselves a pretty interesting question, folks. In, let's say, 12 years, 15 years, is Trea Turner going in as a Nat? Or is he going in as a Philly?
Wow.
Congratulations to Trea Turner, newest member of Club 38.8.
Wow. That is, what a time. What a time. Congratulations, Trea. What a pantheon of greats, of legends, baseball folklore, as they say. Wow.
I mean,
Well, and remember, I think you have to think, I think the Phillies fans play as big a role in this as anybody, right?
That's a
if
good
you're gonna
point, D.
step up, if you're going to step up and show your man support the way they did, if they're going to rally around it, they had a choice to make. Do we burn our Trea Turner jerseys or no? Or do we stitch a big old heart right over our Trea Turner jerseys and let them know, we feel you, brother. We are here to support you. We are here to propel and catapult you into Baines Meter superstardom. And they did. And they did.
They did. They did get him back on track. He's having basically the exact same season statistically that he had last season. Leads the National League in hits with 94. Obviously, he's going to be there for a very long time. And, you just take a quick look at Trea Turner and Harold Baines, comparing them against each other. Harold Baines, over 11,000 career plate appearances. Trea Turner at 5,309. So, again, less than halfway there. 204 fewer home runs. Think about how many players never reach 204 home runs in their careers. That's the gap between Trea Turner and Harold Baines. Interestingly enough, this may be my favorite nugget as it relates to Trea Turner specifically passing Harold Baines. Think of Harold Baines as a hitter. Everybody get that in their head. Okay, now think of Trea Turner as a hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's got that, right?
Yep.
They both have the exact same career OPS plus.
Oh, wow.
121. Yeah. So it comes in all sizes and all forms, folks.
It sure does.
So yeah, I think there's a little bit of poetry to the last two people that we've inducted into Club 38.8 being young stars who came up as nationals, right? Juan Soto, Trea Turner, now plying their trade on other NL East teams. But yeah, congrats to Trea. I know he was probably up very late last night, but he'll be excited to listen to this segment. And of course, thank you to you guys for letting it be the lead segment.
Had family in town. They're The Baines family as well.
were they following Trea?
They follow each person that's on the verge of passing, and when it's multiple people at the same time and it's not clear who's going to pass, they send representatives of the family to each location. So
hey, well, so where is you talk about the Nationals? Are the Nationals a breeding ground for the Baines Meter? Where's old fucking Rendon at? He's got to be knocking on the door, huh? Too bad. I mean,
I don't know that he's knocking. He's standing outside for sure.
He's on the
Rendon
porch.
was trending just fine. He was trending just fine a half decade ago, and hasn't made a whole lot of progress since. He's currently at 34 and change. So
he's walking down the stairs backwards.
I don't think Anthony Rendon walking down the stairs backwards. It's an escalator, and he picked the wrong one.
Yeah.
I don't see 4 more wins above replacement, and really 5 in Rendon's future. But Harp's there, Soto's there, Turner's now there. So yeah, lots to be excited about if you're a Nats fan who liked players on the team a half decade ago.
That's a funny visual. Like all those other dudes on 1 foot bridge walking very quickly, going the correct way, and Rendon's just like, "What do I gotta do? What is go?" Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah, it's too bad. Special player once upon a time.
Some would say. Some were casting many a MVP ballot in his favor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fuck Max, by the way. Last couple of nights have not been fun for me at all. What a kick in the dick last night was. By the way, that's gotta be one of the. There's a lot of dumb things in the world of baseball, but like having a ballpark where it's a home run to hit it halfway up the wall, like that's what we did in middle school at recess. It's like, oh, if you hit it over this line, it's a home run. Like we can't have that in big league ballparks. What the fuck are we doing here?
The netting covering right field, covering the digital board. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's not a home run.
I know it's kind of hey bro, trust me. Like before, when they didn't have the netting, like it was like hold on, what happened? And people were just fucking running, and you had no idea what was going on. So now at least you have the little cushion. You're like, well, the ball kind of okay that
it's stupid, but whatever it is, stupid.
I'm with you. I want to see shit. I love when homers bounce off of shit, like when homers hit objects when they hit things out. You're like, that just hit the fucking canopy of that little hot dog stand. It did. Did that just take the fucking peanut guy out? It did. Yeah. Like, I want to see it hit shit.
Same. Yeah. Like I'm always like, in Colorado, it's into the damn trees. And then in Anaheim, it's into the damn rocks, into Monument Park, into the fucking concourse, onto the Mass Pike. Yeah. Hit balls into shit. That's what gets me
That's what
going.
we say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things we don't say too, right, Dallas? Like there's a lot of just there's like mysterious tweets that are happening. People are calling me, asking me about your whereabouts. I'm like, I don't fucking know. He's a grown ass man. I don't like my mom, by the way. Like yesterday I went to this like plaza, and she texted me and she was like, "Oh, are you at this plaza?" And I was like, "Yeah." Why? Did you see me? She was like, "No, just checking your location." I'm 36 years old, like she just, she just wants to make sure her baby boy's safe. That's all, just being a good mom, making sure no one has kidnapped her beautiful baby boy. But I don't do that with Dallas. Like I don't have Dallas's location. Like I'm not like monitoring him and like making sure that he's good. Cause he's not, but like at the end of the day, Dallas, fielding a lot of questions about what's going on in the world of Dallas Braid.
Yeah, no, I can understand why. I had a, I'll say this much. I had something happen at our ballpark, and it was something that was in the moment enough to cause great pause and to kind of bring everything to a, I don't want to say to a head, but to a moment of evaluation. And I had that happen as I was also preparing for the day that came, which was the groundbreaking ceremony in Las Vegas. And so it was just a combination and what I will call not a perfect storm. It was just a storm of emotion, a storm of preparation, if you will. There was a lot going on, a lot. And that tweet was me basically saying to the fans, without saying words to the fans, if you knew where I was at right now mentally, all I can give you is the love that I've had and share the love that I've had for the fans, for the team, and not knowing what was going to happen in the next 24, 48 hours, maybe. That was my way of just sort of putting that out there. Like, hey, I don't know where this is going, but if it does not go how I'd like it to, or if it does not go the way that I think it should go, I wanted to say thank you of sorts. And I also wanted to just kind of document that time in space, if you will. And that's what that was for. And so it was just it was a combination, the peace sign, the green and gold hearts. It was a combination of like, hey, I'm here. You guys have no idea what I'm going through, what I've gone through to be in this moment. And when I say in this moment, I mean, and I'll say this, let me say it this way, because I released the statement that I did, and those words speak for themselves. To the folks that want to call me a sellout, you know what I say to you? I say, you're right. You want to know what I did? When I was 4 years old, I sold out to being the very best baseball player I could possibly be. At 4 years old, I sold out to that. And I sold out to the idea of trying to do everything I could that comes with being a big league baseball player. I've told you guys this, that the 3 boxes I wanted to check when I was little was, I want to be a big league baseball player because I want to be in a video game. I want to be a big league baseball player because I want to be a poster on somebody's wall, because I got posters on my wall of sweet dudes that I love. And I want my own baseball card. Those are the 3 boxes that I wanted to check. What's the 4th box right after that? I want to go to the Hall of Fame. I'd love to be a Hall of Famer. I want to win a World Series, right? Clearly some boxes that I did not check.
Well,
fair to say?
Pieces of you on the Hall of Fame.
Sure. Thank you. But that was the goal. That was the game plan, to sell out, to do whatever I had to be a part of that, to be in that world. And if you're telling 4-year-old Dallas, and then you told 8-year-old, 12-year-old, 16-year-old Dallas that he was going to have an opportunity to be a part of Major League Baseball outside of his playing days, and was going to have an opportunity to grow the game of baseball in the different forms that I've been allowed to do so, I would have called you a liar, because my path was not supposed to end up here. I was not supposed to be at the podium for a groundbreaking ceremony for a Major League Baseball team. Like, we all know who that kind of stuff is reserved for, right? I'm in the same room as Dave Stewart, Hall of Famer, our A's Hall of Famer, Raleigh Fingers, Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. The commissioner is sitting feet away from me, right? Interacting with me and so we've had our opinions and we've shared our thoughts on how the game has gone and how the game has trended. So for me, did I sell out? I sold out to Major League Baseball, and I sold out to the dream that I had and the dream that I shared a whole fucking lifetime ago, a long time ago. And then I would ask, what is it that you've sold out to get you to where you are? Have you sold out to something? And that's how I've interpreted that, is yeah, I did. I sold out a long time ago to wanting my dream to be realized. And if I still have the opportunity to realize that dream, then that's what that is to me.
I just think the idea that because Oakland fans are so upset about the situation, which rightfully so, like it's a shitty situation that Oakland A's fans are in, But to expect Dallas to just quit his fucking job and like do what? He's dumb. Like he can't just go out into the world. Like what's he going to be, a mechanic? Like he doesn't have any other skills. His life is about the Oakland A's and A's baseball. Like what else is he going to do? Like if he doesn't do this, he's going to be he's going to be like my gardener or something. And like he wouldn't even be good at that. So now like if all these people that are coming at Dallas calling him a sellout, basically you're just costing me money in the end because I'm the one that's going to have to pay this guy because I feel bad. Like what's he going to do? He could be a mall cop. He wouldn't be very good at that. But it's ridiculous to ask him to quit his job. So here's the thing that happened the other night. Our buddy RDT, I didn't even know, like I knew that Dallas was not going to be on the podcast on Monday because he's like, hey, I have to MC this event. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like Dallas is like going to be the DJ at a junior prom. Like he didn't specify what he was doing. He was just like, I have to MC an event, so I can't be there on Monday for the pod. I was like, okay, cool. Me and Jay got it. Then yesterday, RDT, we have like a group text of like, you know, former Barstool guys. He's still currently one. But he said, he's like, the people that are giving Dallas shit, like fuck those people. And I didn't even know what he MC'd. I didn't know what was being said about Dallas. I just immediately went on Twitter and I was like, if any of you motherfuckers have anything to say about Dallas, like go fuck yourself. So I sent out this tweet and then I go back to RDT and I'm like, wait, what are they saying? What happened? So I sent the tweet first, then go back to RDT and then see, you know, the event and the comments underneath. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like the tweet that I sent out aligns with this, but I did not. Yeah, I didn't have the full context first. I just immediately went to your defense. But I would say it's just a loud minority because I think once the internet became aware that people were coming at you in that way, then you had, you know, the swarms of people that actually know your character and what you're about. Then they came and shouted down all these fucking idiots that were saying sellout, yada, yada. Because these people you've actually impacted. Like, I don't think that there was a single person that called you a sellout that you've shook hands with, that you've met, that has taken the time to listen to a podcast or a broadcast or what have you. Anyone that has had a personal relationship with you or has spent even a fraction of time with you, they know what you're about. Those people know. They would never say those things about you because it's not true. Like, that's just not, it's not what it is. Dallas Braden is not, he mentioned like selling out to, you know, like making it to the big leagues and having this checklist. But what he really sold out to is the growth of the game of baseball. Like, it goes beyond Oakland. It goes beyond the A's. It's about the sport. Like, this is someone, and in my tweet, basically what I said was, he has done so many things that you'll never even know about. Like, when we came out with the documentary on the last day at the Coliseum, you see this man walking up to every single person who is employed by the team that works at the ballpark, knows all their names, giving all of them hugs, fans in the ballpark. Like, what other team personnel is going out to a tailgate and hanging out with the fans, like the actual real fans? So this idea that, oh, like, you know, he's just kissing the owner's ass for a paycheck. Get that bag, Dallas. Like, do you think that it's life-changing? Like, do you think that he cut him a check for millions of dollars to be the team mascot? No. Like, this is he wanted to be a Hall of Fame baseball player. When that was taken away from him due to injury, what's the next best thing? Now I can be the voice of the team. I can't be the face of the team as a player. Now I can be the voice of the team as a broadcaster. And he's doing that. And under no circumstances should he give that up to satisfy fucking Chad in Stockton because he's mad that the team got moved. It's ridiculous. So I know Dallas won't say it in an angry tone. I will, because I know what he's about. And I've known what he's about for a long time. So anyone that has some sort of issue there, it's just categorically misguided, I would say is the word. You're not wrong. You're ignorant. You're misinformed. That's all it is.
I genuinely appreciate that, man. I do a lot. And that's all I would encourage people to just try to live your life like that. Like don't let the outside noise. Cause I do. Does it bother me? The internet doesn't bother me because I understand what the internet is for and its purpose. Does it suck to see some of that stuff and hear some of that stuff? Sure, it does. but I look at it like, maybe those are people that if we were able to have a beer and a hot dog at a ball game together, there's a good chance they might look at things a little differently by the time that inning was over, by the time those few innings were over. And I know that, so I'm okay with that. And I would also say, you're not beating down the door of some of the players that sign contracts and asking them to like relinquish their contract and hit the free agent market because, right? Like you're not asking that, you're not mad at them for the same reason. So.
Only thing I want to say about this, Jared, you covered the Dallas side. I agree with all of it, of course. If anyone is still thinking of being critical, I would say take a good hard look at, and this has nothing to do with Dallas. This is a general statement. Applies all the time. Take a good hard look at who might be signing your paycheck, or the company that owns your company, or the person at the very top of the business pyramid, or whatever you want to look at. And if that person is, it's a complicated world out there, and everybody needs to make a living. And I think looking at it in black and white for other people and looking at it in gray for yourself is very natural, but also something that should take pause in a moment like this, because it's gray for you and it's gray for other people.
Yeah. And go fuck very yourself.
Also that, yeah, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Well, if you still feel that way, then go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Download the Underdog Fantasy app, though. Speaking of the A's, I got Nick Kurtz as my first pick on my pick'em today.
Yeah, really good one.
Yeah, I went Kurtz, I went Nimmo, and I actually went Evan Carter today. Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good about my picks. You should too. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Yeah, I'd be putting out picks Monday through Friday. Dallas will put them out whenever he has the balls to, which is pretty much never.
I tried to log in this morning because I had a double one ready to roll. And once again, I'm battling password issues. So
yeah, I did some logging in.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah. Yeah. So people are gonna say that this is anti-Yankee bias. It's not. Jay has Skubal helping the Tigers get to the first team to 50 wins as the lead topic. I want to talk about Chase Burns. He could have done this against any other team.
Well, let's be clear. Chase Burns is on the rundown too, right? Though it's not like
it's the second topic. It's the second topic.
Yeah, okay. It's loose. It's a guy.
It's loose. All right. I'm just saying. Usually I follow it to a T, Jay. Hey,
okay.
You got your finger on the pulse, but am I wrong? Anyone else sit down and watch Chase Burns last night? And anytime you get someone who, you have like a name day, and if you can do that on your big league debut, it's going to be special. Like there's Skubal Day. There used to be Sale Day. There's Cole Day. There's DeGrom Day. Skenes Day. Yup. If you can have Happy Chase Burns Day on the day that you make your big league debut, well, lock the fuck in because you're about to see something really special. The scouting report sounded like a threat. Like I would have read the scouting report and been like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And it lived up to the hype. At least for the first few innings, he struck out the side. Struck out the side in the first, which I believe they said on the broadcast was the first time in 34 years that a Reds starter made their debut and struck out the side in their debut. Proceeded to strike out, what was it, 5 of his first 6 batters?
No,
each of his first 5. No, his first 5.
Each of the first 5, and then 6 of 7, I want to say. Yeah. Yeah, dude was electric. It was 98. It was 100. It was, wipeout sliders. He was getting swing and miss. He was making some of the best hitters in the league look really silly. He punched out Judge the first time he saw him. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, obviously, the end of the game, you're talking about a walk-off for the Reds, which I think we can maybe have a little bit conversation where it's not just. So here's where my mind went after the game. Reds win the game, they walk it off. Ellie De La Cruz scores the winning run, and maybe you have that moment of, hey, the Reds could be good. They could be above average. This is not a Paul Skenes situation where you're like, I'm super excited that this pitcher is making his big league debut because he's generational and it's going to be really fun to just watch him every 5th day. The Pirates may suck, but I'm going to watch Paul Skenes. I think in this, like the Burns situation, that could be elevating the Reds to a team that you might have to look out for. No, am I wrong?
I think at initial glance, well, the reason that you go there is because you think if you're inserting somebody like this into a rotation and he's joining the ranks of a guy like Hunter Green and company, like there's a solid chance if he performs something like this consistently, you've got a nice tip top of the rotation. And in that division, that's something that can make or break your run. I think that's fair to say. And if it's the offense that you have to concern yourself with or worry about, then that's a completely separate conversation. But if you're talking about the impact of a dude like Burns to show up and I think solidify or help solidify that area for the Reds, that's a great place to be. That is a wonderful addition, and it makes you that much more competitive. I mean, we talk about the Mariners in a way that makes them competitive or at least a postseason hopeful. And a lot of that has always had to do with what's going on the mound and what could be with their offense. And Cal Raleigh is taking a lot of that load and dumping it on his own shoulders and doing just fine. So are there guys in that lineup for the Cincinnati Reds that can do the same thing? I'm not telling you make a run at the fucking Homer title. I'm telling you, is there guys or are there guys that can start to shoulder a similar load and spread that across 3-4 of these players? And if so, well, now, Jared, I think the conversation that you're trying to have becomes a more prevalent one.
So the Cincinnati Reds, for anyone who hasn't been paying attention, 4 games over 500, a plus 40 run differential, and they're 2 games back of that 3rd wild card spot. The teams that they're contending with for that spot, I mentioned the plus 40 run differential. You've got the Padres plus 22, the Cardinals plus 41, the Brewers plus 46, and the Giants at plus 44. Like, I don't think that you can make the case that, like, sure, there's a handful of teams that they're going to have to be better than at the end of the day, but does this like come down to luck and chance and schedule? I mean, there's not one team where it's like, okay, like that team is definitively better than the Cincinnati Reds. Like, I don't think that team exists that's in front of them. I think that there's room for them if they play well enough.
Well, look, they're a series, as I say, out of first place, right? I mean, a little more than. They're 4.5 out of their own division, right?
Yeah.
They're 4.5 out of their own division. So, yeah, when you start to go down, because what you're doing is you're looking at the other 2 divisions and you're looking at the top 2 teams and you're asking yourself, who were they better than, right? It's the Phillies and the Mets out of the East. Who were they better than? Are they better than either one of those teams? I don't know. I would balk at that. Are they better than the Giants? Are they better than the Padres? Those are the questions that we're asking right now. Those are the questions that you would have to ask if we're entertaining the Reds as a potential postseason club. So I think in their division, obviously competitive outside of their division. How do they stack up? That's what we're trying to evaluate here.
I think my take on the Reds currently is that it's more of an excitement thing than it is me seeing this coalescing into a deep run or like a meaningful run this season. I think what is appealing about the Reds now that Chase Burns is up is that while Hunter Green is not pitching, you have an appointment television starting pitcher back on the mound. And eventually you hope to have two, as you guys have covered. And obviously we all know about Ellie offensively, but I just don't feel like this team has all of the pieces it needs to do a deep run when we consider that two of the three most important pieces, or whatever, however we're going to rank them, but two of the three most noteworthy or exciting in Green and Burns, one of them just made his debut and threw 5 innings and was on the whole fine, but it's not like he went out and threw 7 scoreless. The other one is currently on the IL with multiple injuries, not just one. He's got multiple injuries, and one of those is a back problem. So, like, if Hunter Green is healthy, then then this is very exciting in the medium term. But to me, it's more of like the Reds are more interesting for television than it is. Well, we're going to see this sustain. But again, the wild card bar is what it is, as we've talked about before, and they're capable of doing that.
Well, they're more. I mean, look. I get that, Hunter Green and the ailments. And when you think about, are we forgetting about Andrew Abbott? Like, let's not forget about what that.
I should have said him. You're right.
No, not. I wasn't saying that like you. I mean, all of us, everybody. Let's not forget about that motherfucker too. And the reason you can't forget about him is because he's the best pitcher on the team right now. And if you have an Abbott throwing the ball the way he is, and a healthy Green, and you can't sneeze at Lodolo. What's his numbers? I think are pretty good, right? Last time I checked, I think his ERA was like around 3.5, 3.4, 3.5, something like that, maybe a little higher. Go ahead.
No, it is funny now that you're talking about this. It occurs to me that it's really funny how quickly the issue with the Reds, at least right now, flipped from, boy, this offense is intriguing and we have too many players for too few spots to, and what is the rotation to, wow, this rotation is pretty goddamn good. One through 5 for the people who are filling those roles. But this offense, it's like, what are 75% of these players or 2/3 of these players for this team? Because it's like, not to name every single person, but Matt McClain was supposed to be a really important part of this team and has been terrible on the season as a whole. And you just look at this offense and it's like, how many real pieces are there here? Yeah.
Encarnacion, Strand, right? Like that's another, like there's not much going on there right now.
But it just totally flipped. Like, I think both narrative wise and also just reality wise. And Burns was promoted and Singer was acquired via trade, but yeah.
Yeah. I would just not, I mean, if things aren't going to go well for them, in my opinion right now, it's not going to be because they're not preventing runs, at least in the starting rotation. They're going to have a chance in that regard. And it's just going to be about what the offense can do. And that's why I said the conversation starts to sound eerily similar to the conversation around the Seattle Mariners. Is you got a lot of confidence in what the pitching staff can do for you, and mainly, specifically, the starting rotation. But outside of that, you're going to need help offensively because it's a very tough thing to consistently win 2-1 ball games, 3-2 ball games. Those are high stress, high leverage type moments. And I mean, at some point in time, the pitching staff's going to stumble a bit. They're not going to be able to give you goose eggs every day. I mean, you'd love that, but sometimes you have to win a ball game 9-5.
Yeah. I think the Red Sox just lost one 9-5. No.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I have a rooting interest for the Reds. Their fans are cool. Ballpark's cool. Never been there, but it looks cool. And they've got exciting players. I think anytime that, is there a such thing as a team that wins or has a winning record that's kind of boring? Yeah, I think that's possible, but I don't think the Reds are one of them. So I'm rooting for the Reds. Also, now we can talk about Tarek Skubal, what he's been doing, and the Detroit Tigers becoming the first team to reach the 50-win plateau here during the 2025 Major League Baseball season. They are 50-30 to start the year, plus 89 run differential. They have surpassed 400 runs scored on the year to get to those 50 wins. Dallas, what are you seeing from Tarek Skubal?
Everything that I saw in before he went to spring training, everything that we saw in spring training, everything that we have seen. I mean, I'm seeing that he's one of the best, if not the best pitcher on the planet. And even through a stumble, that's now just 3 times all season that he's given up more than 4 earned runs. It's the first time that he's surrendered 2 homers in a game since opening day against the Dodgers. And I saw a guy last night who early struggled with his command a bit, walked Jacob Wilson to start the ball game, and then Brent Rooker hit an absolute fucking mammo and was down quickly 2-0. And part of me was like, fuck yeah, boys, let's fucking go, right? Because I mean, look, sorry, you know how much I love Scoobs. That's understood. Do I want the green and gold to beat his fucking ass on that day? Yeah, kind of. I wouldn't mind if he goes, 7 innings, 10 punchies, and the 4 or 5 runs were what got it done. Sure, whatever. There's a little love on both sides to be had, I guess. But he punched out 8, and it was on what I know was not his best stuff, but the competitor is, again, what showed up. Like the guttural scream at the end of his outing that ended on a punch. Like he's just like, you can feel him just fucking just dominating in his mind what he wants to do. Like this is how this is going to go. This is how this has to happen. And you can watch him just sort of battle through that wall, just bust through that wall every time he takes the baseball. And it's really impressive to watch. Yeah, he's just a guy on another planet right now. Even after that start last night, which not his best start, not one of his best starts, but still giving his team more than a fair chance to win the game. This dude is utterly dominant on either side. Righties, lefties, changeup, fastball, the slider. I mean, the knuckle curve he drops on you here and there. Everything about this dude is fucking first tier.
Jay?
It occurred to me yesterday as I was doing some stuff that he's kind of like the perfect pitcher in a way, or a pitcher who has like fully realized whatever is possible in the current environment of the game, because he has the highest swing rate induced in Major League Baseball. So it's not like nobody's offering at any of his pitches, right? But he has tied for the highest first pitch strike rate and tied for the highest chase rate. So he's getting ahead. He's making you swing out of the count, and he has the highest in-zone rate in Major League Baseball. So he's throwing the ball in the zone more often than not. So like a lot of guys with big chase rates, not necessarily a bad thing, but like some of those guys don't throw strikes, or at worst case, struggle to throw strikes when it really matters. And part of the chase is that they're throwing pitches and people are offering. Skubal's not offering any window to take advantage of it, because his stuff in the zone can't be hit, and he's getting you to chase out of the zone. So it's just, I don't know, like that's one way to look at it. Obviously his ERA and all that other stuff suggests that yes, he's the best pitcher in baseball, but in terms of the margins, it just seems like he's basically perfected the craft in 2025 or close to.
So let me, there's only a few guys that you can really do this with that have this. And Jay, before I go down that road, all of the numbers and all the categories that you just touched on, right? There's one of them that is the most important out of all of those. And there is one of them that sits at the top of that pyramid that allows those other blocks under them to be foundational the way they are. And that is strike one. He throws strike one more than anybody. And if that's going to be the case, you have to understand that there's going to be a lot of those coming, not just on the first pitch. There's a lot of strikes coming. So let's run down this list here. First pitch strike rate, 71%. Big league average, 63%. One of the first 2 pitches for strikes, The percentage of that for Skubal, 91%. The big league average, 86%. 2 of the first 3 pitches for strikes. On average for Skubal, that happens 79% of the time. The big league average, 64%. Percentage of 0-1 counts that become 0-2 counts, 62% for Skubal. Big league average, right at 50%. Does he win the 1-1 count? Oh, buddy, does he win the 1-1 count? He fucking owns the 1-1 count. 1-1 to 1-2 count, 72% of the time, his 1-1 counts go to 1-2, not 2-1. The big league average on the 1-1 count, the most important and pivotal count in baseball, aside from the 0-0, well, big league pitchers get it done 57% of the time. Tarik Skubal, again, 72% of the time. 73% strikes with the fastball. That it does include cutters for folks who throw cutters. The big league average, 67%. 69% strikes with his off-speed stuff. Big league average, 61%. You're understanding the theme here. It's everything. Every area that you could possibly want to dominate in at bat, he is doing that. Every area that you could possibly want to dominate the pitcher-batter confrontation, he is doing that. At bats that last 4 or less pitches, 67% of the time, he's getting you the fuck out of there in 4 pitches or less. It's over. It's over. Only 15% of the runners score. Big league average, 27% of the base runners they see score. And then how about this? Even if he should not, for some reason, get ahead of you and already have you fucking wiped out of this thing, 2-0, 2-1, 3-ball counts that end in outs for Skubal, 61% of those counts end in outs. Over half of those counts for Skubal end in outs. Big league average, just a hair over half the time do you get those guys out, 52%. Tarik Skubal, by very definition, is the most dominant man on the planet.
It's crazy. The pitch use, I mean, he's used more changeups than 4-seamers this year.
First time in his career.
Have you seen that thing?
I mean, yeah, I think I saw, what was it? He did like an interview where he was asked, what was your favorite strikeout last year? And we were talking changeups. Like, he loves the changeup.
Dude, his changeup is the drunk girl at the bar who's had entirely too much tequila. Like, it just starts undressing itself. Like, that's how it is. Like, however you want to throw it, left-handers, right-handers, he's moving it around. Like last night, the thing had some fucking cut on it at times, and he threw one, got a swing and miss, and you could just, and he was pissed because he just kind of motioned like fuck, like trying to get back to his cue so that he could get the effect that he wanted. And I mean, like, that's why last night was impressive for me too, because I know it wasn't his best stuff, but he was still out there absolutely carving.
I think it has to be considered the best pitch in baseball currently. I know that's fluid and changes. Yeah, I just think it has to, if we're crowning one pitch, considering all the factors, I think that has to be the one, because I know Hunter Brown's 4-seamer is technically the most dominant singular pitch by the numbers and stuff like that this season. But this is like year 3 of Skubal's pitch being like fucking insane. He's throwing it more often, as Jared said, than he ever has. And it's like fractionally behind Hunter Brown. Anyway, it's getting better in every way. It's getting better. He's throwing it harder. The whiff rate's going up. He's throwing it more often. It's like what we said about him as becoming a perfect pitcher, distilled down to the progression of one pitch. And that's not that it matters what is the singular best pitch in baseball, but that, to me, given how often he throws it, how long he's been doing it, and that it continues to get better in the numbers, I think it's the best pitch in baseball.
I also think it's crazy that he has like the show me knuckle curve, but it's basically 4-seam, sinker, slider, changeup. And for a pitcher as dominant as Skubal is, like, you go like the whiff rate pitch by pitch, slider 24.7%, 4-seamer 28%, sinker 21.9%, changeup. Want to take a guess, Dallas?
42.
46.5%.
46.
Yeah. And opponents are hitting worse against his changeup. So last year it was 216 compared to 162 this year. The weighted on base average last year 241. It's 156 this year. So yeah, like his best pitch, but it's also like, so last year the whiff rate on the changeup was 46.2%. This year it's 46.5%. So very, very, very similar. But the numbers, like the actual putting it in play part, like dropped off a cliff. So the whiff rate's the same, but guys are not hitting it at all.
They're not getting to it. Exactly. No. You're still seeing it, or are you? Because you're not getting to it at all. And it's been it's been fun and it's been interesting. We used to do this when we would interview guys, ask them about, pitches that they would abandon and then a pitch that they would pick up. And that's a question that I asked these guys in the Slab Lab. And Tarik Skubal's fastball and Tarik Skubal's changeup have been the answer multiple times. I mean, not on the 99 Pedro level where we're taking everything Pedro throws, like where you got Cy Young candidates probably willing to bang their entire arsenal and just take Pedro's. But a lot of guys have gone, lefty, righty, I can get anybody. Yeah, man, whoever you want. Give me Skubal's fastball because it's 100, it's 103, and it's just fucking on you right now. How about his changeup? I'll take Skubal's changeup. I'm like, what? You just want to be Skubal? Yeah, if I could, I'll just be
yeah.
Like it's that real. It is that real where his peers not only have started to take notice, have been informed about it, and now understand and revere it as probably the most imposing fastball in baseball.
Would you say Skubal is a dog, Dallas?
Buddy, a fucking capital DAWG.
Wow.
Wait. Oh, hey, step aside.
The summer hat just
yeah, that's my territory now. Dog noises, that's me.
It looks like my bearded aunt Justine.
Justine Hussein.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to get get the whole body into it.
Justine, who's been on a little bit of testosterone recently, just trying it out. Anyway, sometimes in life you want to get the truth. You have to look at the numbers. Unfortunately, 50% of all dogs over 10 years old will die of cancer. And the other 40 to 50% suffer miserably from skin issues or joint problems. And this is widely attributed to your dog's diet. These numbers are what inspired Dr. Dennis Black to create Rough Greens. So here's the good news. With thousands of testimonials and 5-star reviews every month, Rough Greens is now the #1 all-natural dog supplement in America. They have helped millions of pups like mine, who's staring into my soul right now on the floor, stay active and be healthy. And your pup could be next. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens, fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover shipping. Go to roughgreens.com and use the promo code BID. That's rough, RUFF, greens.com, promo code BID. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. Okay. Shohei Ohtani is still Shohei Ohtani. Hit another home run. Monday is the target day for the next bump day. Yeah?
I thought I saw Saturday. Is it Monday now?
Oh, yeah, no. It is Saturday. You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Saturday.
Yep, I'm excited.
Well, we didn't get Dallas's thoughts.
Yeah, give us your thoughts, Dallas.
Yeah, DB.
What, on Showtime on the mound?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had 2 now.
Are you guys? Well, let me ask you guys this: are you disappointed that it's just in 1 inning burst?
Oh God, right up Jared's alley here. Go ahead, Rocket.
Oh, What are you bitching about it? What are you bitching about?
I'm not bitching. I'm just not totally satisfied. That's all. I just
It sounds like you're bitching.
Yeah, a little bit. It's not that I'm bitching. It's more just like, if you're gonna do it, then do it. You know, like,
what the fuck do you want him? I mean, he's coming off, Jared.
So then use him in the ninth. Don't use him as an opener. Use him as a reliever.
Okay, but this is where.
But what?
Go ahead, Jay.
I shouldn't cut off Dallas. That's ridiculous. He's the one who pitched.
I want to hear what Aunt Justine has to say.
You can control everything about the routine and when he pitches, when he starts the first inning. You cannot control that if he's a relief pitcher or closing the game.
Yeah.
So that sounds like he's not healthy enough to be back out there. Yeah.
No. He's more than healthy enough. That's why he's out there, is because he's healthy enough to do it. Mm-hmm. But everything that we have seen and known about Shohei Ohtani has happened in a controlled environment. From his free agency to everything has been controlled. Everything. Nothing would change about this, because, Jared, if we want the Ohtani that we've been creating and manifesting in our minds, and if we want to see that happen when we expect to see it happen, when the leaves change and the calendar turns and the autumn wind becomes a raider, that's when we want to see Ohtani at the end of the ball game.
It sounds like he's not tough enough to do that.
I couldn't be further from the truth. Tough enough.
I didn't say that that's what I thought. I said that's what it sounds like.
Well, I don't know where you're hearing that from. I mean, you have to be hearing that from somewhere. Otherwise, maybe it's just you coming up with that narrative. Narrative in your head.
Slander.com.
Yeah. Don'tknowball.com.
No. I'm a big. I'm very pro Ohtani, as we know. I'm one of the biggest Ohtani guys that there is.
It sounds like him giving you
Ben Verlander, Dallas Braden, JC.
It sounds like you 100 mile an hour. Like, that's not good enough for you at this point? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. No more. No.
And I'm sorry that that's the case, but it doesn't go any further than, we just need to be able to control the routine. We need to be able to make sure that he is comfortable going into these things, meaning his pitching performances, his pitching outings. And as he continues to bounce back, as he continues to get more and more comfortable with the bounce back and the recovery and balancing that. Because remember, you're asking a guy to balance two sides of preparation, and the body has to be able to rebound. And when you are doing certain things a certain way, you can expect your body to respond a certain way. Now you start to implement other movements. You start to demand more of your body. There's going to be a feeling out process to how your body responds in those moments. And so the rest and recovery, even after one inning, it's important. Why? Well, because Ohtani, being the right-handed pitcher that he is and creating the torque he does with his front side on the left side, that's now torque that he maybe hasn't been creating to the extent that he would if he was pitching every day. All he's been doing is hitting. So now just adapting the body to those things are something he's been doing slowly, and he's been allowed to do slowly because it's been happening in a controlled environment. And so that's why it's happening the way it is. So am I disappointed? No. Am I excited? Sure. Does this continue to tickle him just a little bit and get you more excited? It does. You can't lie to me, Jared. I see the look on your face. I know that that's a look of anticipation. Sure, you want more, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's giving you just enough of the balloon where you're going to keep on coming back. And pretty soon he's going to be selling you fucking maple syrup in a syringe, and you're going to be shooting that up wanting more. So don't worry about it. You'll be just fine.
If you say so. I mean, I don't know. I think when he signed that contract, the first thing we all thought was, is it going to be worth it? Is he going to be able to be pitching, hitting, doing it? Like, for how long is this going to be a thing? And I'm just antsy. That's all. I'm just antsy to see both again.
But and that's fair. But remember that was also part of the conversation. And I think we all understood and made peace with the fact that the life lived on the mound could be coming to an end quicker than we would all like. and we were just hoping that the offensive aspect of his game would continue to persist in the way that it has. And there has been no letdown there. And if you're telling me that on the flip side of this two-sided coin of Ohtani is him just being the offensive juggernaut that he is, and we don't get to see him on the mound at all, I think you're still happy with that. You have to be. So the fact that you're going to get him in any sort of capacity on the mound in conjunction with what he's doing offensively, it's still a win. And it's still going to be exciting if this dude shows up. At this point, you can't be disappointed with what you're getting. And here's why. If he joins the starting rotation and rounds back into form, he's back to the behemoth that he's been this entire time. If he doesn't round back into starting rotation form, but is now a viable option and a consistent option out of the bullpen in high leverage situations and ends up in that spot where we have designed it, where he's punching tickets in the ninth and then walking it off in the bottom half of that inning, it doesn't get more electric than that. And that's a very real possibility.
I just hope it happens. That's all. I think what I'm trying to do is I'm coping with the loss before it happens. I think going back to an earlier point that I made, not in this episode, but another one about, I think the days of the even seeing like 20 starts from Shohei. Do you think we see 20 starts from Shohei again?
I want to say yes, but I also am leaving that door open to him if he's going to be utilized out of the bullpen. I got to believe that they would start to entertain how they could use him and create longevity for him. If the question is, if we go back into the rotation, are you going to be able to handle that and balance that? And the reason that pops up, the reason that I think him joining the rotation is a more likely possibility is because of what we were just talking about regarding the controllability and the controlled climate. This is the best way to allow him to perform on both sides of the ball, is to be able to account for the physical output. Because there could be a series you run into where, hey, it's a 4-game series. Showtime. Are we going to see you 3 out of 4 days on the mound in this series? Well, you don't know until those moments arise. But what you do know in the rotation is you're only going to see him once. And he can plan for that. You can plan for that. And if that keeps Ohtani healthy or healthier on both sides, isn't that something that you have to entertain? It is.
Okay. We'll see. I'm just coping. That's all. Is it crazy to cope? Am I wrong for coping?
No. Cope on.
Cope on. Man. All right.
On.
Well, we can move on to the next subject, which is the All-Star ballot update, which will include our All-Star ballot submissions. The voting does close tomorrow at noon, so the latest update is probably going to be quite similar, if not exactly what it's going to end up being. But Jay, hey, would you like to go over the All-Star ballot vote totals, or just kind of like where we're at in terms of the voting?
Yeah, sure. So, sorry, 1 second, please. All right, so we can go position by position here really quickly. We'll call it rapid fire style. Per the last update, Vlad Jr., AL first base, is the leader. It's a him and Goldschmidt race. I'm going to tell you guys right now, fuck all that. My vote is Jonathan Aranda. That's right. Yep.
Let's go, Jay. Hey.
That's where my vote is. I don't know what you guys are doing. Maybe you guys are going for star power and want Vladdy in the All-Star game. I understand
Aranda.
that.
That's where I am at as well.
Aranda or Vlad?
Aranda.
Great. Let's keep this shit moving then. Second base. Right now, the update has Gleyber Torres leading Jackson Holiday and Jose Altuve. Really just this might just be over, to be honest with you. But we'll see whether Jackson or Jose Altuve can make a run. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it is Gleyber.
It is Gleyber. Absolutely, it's Gleyber. Gleyber, this is a resurgent. Absolutely. Yes, Gleyber.
Yeah, DB's seen him up close.
No, that's I'm a Brandon Lau guy, unfortunately.
He has been red hot, but I just want to give Glaber a little bit of love because I think this is literally the first time that we've talked about him on the pod other than saying his name when running through Tigers players. But the big deal with Glaber was that he came onto the scene and hit 24 and then 38 homers, the latter happening in 144 games in 2019 as a 22-year-old. And you're like, holy shit, like it's not perfect, but this is pretty exciting. And then we never saw anything like that again. And it occurred to me yesterday, his OPS plus this season is better than the year that he hit 38 home runs. And the man has 7 home runs this year. And that's entirely driven. Some of that is circumstantial because of the offensive environment, but it's basically his 386 on base percentage, which is 50 full points higher than his career mark. And you don't often see a guy this late in his career add 50 points of on base percentage. But the strikeout rate's down, the walk rate's up. Like there's some things behind it. So it's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah. The chase rate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he may be evolving as a player, and it's a really nice, I know it was a 1-year deal for Detroit, but this 1 year matters for them. And this is the sort of deal that, when you're pursuing a championship or a division title, these things going right really matters. Jared, you're supporting Glaber, right? Former Yankee great.
Nope. Cool. Brandon Lau is my pick at second base for the All-Star game.
I know you already said that. I just didn't know if that sales job did anything for you.
No.
Okay.
No. Brandon Lau.
Shortstop, Dallas, congratulations. The update has right. Jay Willie about 300,000 votes ahead of Bobby Witt Jr. Jeremy Pena, statistically the best shortstop in a lot of ways in the AL. A distant third, about half the votes as Jay Willie. Dallas, you feeling confident?
I feel great about it. I feel extremely confident about it. I mean, Jacob Wilson he continues. I said this last time. Anytime your name is consistently in any conversation with Aaron Judge, I don't give a shit what it's about. Yet you take note, and that's exactly what's happened. Is the baseball world has taken note. They realize what Jacob Wilson's game is doing. They realize how important his game is to the team he's on, but he's being rewarded for his success. He is being acknowledged for the ridiculous skill set that he possesses, and he should be.
All right. Okay.
He should be.
Okay.
He should absolutely be recognized as being the third best shortstop in the league, no doubt.
Stop it.
I regret turning it over to you for Jacob Wilson hour.
No, This is why you got to get excited, Jay. Hey,
I'm voting for him. We can move on. Is that good?
Okay. All right. Well, no. And Jared. All right, I'll fucking turn my eyes to you, son of a bitch. Listen, Bobby Witt Jr. has the support of the Kansas City Royals fan base.
I'm not voting for him either.
They are phenomenal.
I voted for Mr. Pena.
You don't have to. I know you're voting for Mr. Pena, but I'm telling you right now, for Jacob Wilson to be outpacing Bobby Witt Jr. and Mr. Pena, and you can throw fucking Bo in there as well.
It's a down year for Bobby Witt. So, I got to vote for Mr. Pena.
I think there are 3 viable options. I honestly do. I think Jay Willie, Witt, and Pena are all legitimate options to be voted as All-Stars, depending on what you value in an All-Star in the vote. But I am going with Jay Willie because it also is supposed to be fun, and he's the story of the season for Dallas Braden. Congrats to Dallas. Third base, nothing really to say here. There was going to be something to say, I think, until Alex Bregman got hurt. Unfortunately, Jose Ramirez has triple the votes of Alex Bregman, basically, per the last ballot update. And that is fair because it's Jose Ramirez's position. It's his spot. And Bregman has missed a month of baseball. And unfortunately, that matters when we're talking about 3 months of baseball being the sample. Anything to add here, or are we just all good with Joe Ram?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Nope.
That's completely ridiculous.
No,
it doesn't matter that he hasn't.
I voted for Jose Ramirez. I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Addison Barger.
Okay.
Okay.
Definitely a name on the ballot, I think. I'm not sure I'd put any real money that he's actually on there, but I believe you if he is. So AL outfield, we've got the leaders as of the last vote. We're Aaron Judge with double the next closest person. Riley Green in second. Javi Baez, Mike Trout, Stephen Kwan, Bellinger, Kerry Carpenter, George Springer, and Julio Rodriguez. That is absolutely a collection of AL outfielders. Other than Judge, who I'm just going to say, other than Judge and Riley Green, who I would assume we're all on the same page on, given that there's no real case against him at this point. He's playing his best baseball now, all of that. Who do you think deserves that third spot?
Trent Grisham.
You guys have... Okay.
You disagree?
Yeah.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
He's having a great season, is he not?
He's having a
Why
fine
not
season.
Javi Baez? Why not Javi Baez?
Because he's
What? Exactly. Why not El Mago?
I think I'm fine if it's Javi, actually, because I think it's such an awesome story. I don't think he's not going to get my actual vote. I think that's going to come down to Julio Rodriguez, who I think for lots of different reasons is, the quote unquote smart pick from a league and marketing and all that sort of standpoint compared to these other guys. But quick shout out to Byron Buxton too, who a couple of years ago we were talking about as like, he's just a DH now, which is not the case, and having an incredibly resurgent season and maybe statistically the second best outfielder or primary outfielder in the entire American League. So who are you guys getting outside of Judge? Who's getting the vote?
I'm going El Mago. I'm rolling with El Mago.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I went Riley Green, Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge.
Riley Green, Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge. All right. I went Judge, Riley Green, Julio Rodriguez.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel great about that one, though. I might regret not picking Byron Buxton, but it is what it is. We'll see if Mike Trout can squeeze his way. It's interesting, though, that the battle for the 3-4 spot may come down to Javier Baez and Mike Trout.
Jeez.
That feels like a Black Mirror episode.
Is he even hitting over 200?
Trout?
Yeah.
What's it to you, man?
I'm just saying.
Like, why are you so focused on batting average all of a sudden?
Fucking old head.
He's hitting 225. It's fine. He's hot.
Yeah.
Catcher, I mean, literally no conversation to be had. We just blew Cal Raleigh last week. I think multiple times, actually. And again on Monday, Cal Raleigh has nearly triple the votes of Alejandro Kirk, Dylan Dingler, Yainer Diaz, and Logan O'Hoppe.
Dingler.
The Tigers,
Logan
man.
O'Sloppy. Yeah.
The Motor City Kitty support from their fans is real. Real.
It's funny when you get these crests of specific cities just jamming the ballot box, right? Like, I feel like that was a problem in Kansas City for a little while.
That's what I'm saying. Era. That's why, again, thank you for bringing up Jacob Wilson again, Jay Hay.
Jay Willie. I did not.
Outpacing
I did not do that.
AL designated hitter Ryan O'Hearn is the vote leader. He's double Ben Rice. Unfortunately, B. Rook is in third, slightly ahead of Colt Keith. And obviously, the gold standard at the position is Yordan Alvarez, who has missed most of the season. He's in fifth with 300,000 and change. Anybody going against O'Hearn?
No.
Ever heard of Brent Rooker?
Yeah, I said him. I said he's in third with 300, just shy of 400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just wait. The second half of this month. Well, we don't have much time left. Huh? So the first half of next month is going to be fucking hot for Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker has quietly put together another potential all-star caliber season. Quietly, because of all the other noise surrounding young studs on his team.
Yeah, it's really just Jay Willie.
He actually has been quiet. I'm going to give you that. A 131 OPS plus is significantly higher than I thought Brent Rooker was doing. So, that's
so Brent
legit.
Rooker. Brent
but he's
motherfucking Rooker.
Yeah, he's not the right answer, but he's got a better case than I would have thought.
Sure.
NL, switch it over. This, I thought, had the potential to be closer, I think, but Pete Alonso. Oh, timeout. What's up, man?
Well, I was just going to say, side note, nobody happier about Rafael Devers going to the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Than Ryan
O'Hearn. Yeah.
Yeah. Or sad if he had plans.
Yeah.
NL, although probably a nice opportunity for Ryan O'Hearn. No offense to him, but maybe your one shot. Some of us never got a shot, First base, NL, Freddie Freeman has about a 500,000 vote lead on Pete Alonso. All due respect to Michael Busch, Bryce Harper, and Luis Arias. Not really even respect to Luis Arias, just respect to Michael Busch and Bryce Harper. This is a 2-man race. Are you guys punching it for free or Alonso?
No,
you know what?
I'm Alonso.
Yeah. You know what, Jay? Just to drive the stake in a little deeper, even if I can, because it's going to be Pete Alonso at the end of this thing as far as our OPS bet goes. It's Pedro for me. Pedro.
It's not going to be Pete Alonso. I'm going to take Freddie Freeman. My justification there, even though he is ever so slightly worse as a hitter this year, is that I don't really give a fuck if Pete Alonso is 2.5% better than Freddie Freeman over the span of like 70 or 80 games in one season. We're talking about a future first ballot Hall of Famer, and we're talking about a guy who may end up in the Hall of Very Good. And if this is about looking back, I think it's fine if we just continue to punch the ticket for Freeman because he's been basically just as good.
That right there is a contradictory attitude, Mr. Baines Meter, because you are rewarding Freddie Freeman for what has been done as opposed to rewarding an individual who is outperforming him in the moment for an award and an acknowledgement that is about the moment right here, now.
Mm-hmm.
So you would be giving Freddie Freeman a trip to Atlanta because he's really good, but not as good as the guy who's better than him right now. That guy doesn't get to go to Atlanta because Freddie has been good for a while. He's not better than him right now, but Freddie, even though you're not better than him right now,
he is better because if any person on this panel were to have to take a person to get a hit in one at bat or to get a hit today in their game or to get hits this week, we would all take Freddie Freeman over Pete Alonso. And again, I don't care if Pete Alonso has spent the first half of this season being 1% better than Freddie Freeman. When Freddie Freeman is definitively better. Yeah, I cut it.
You just robbed him 1.5%.
I cut 1.5%. And if we keep going on this topic, it's going to be down to 0.5%.
Pete Alonso has played 12 more games than Freddie Freeman this year. It's a 158. It's a 158 weighted runs created plus to 148. Like that's notable.
That's a gap.
Yeah,
that is a gap.
They do.
One of them is a good defensive first baseman. The other is Pete Alonso. All right, here we go.
I mean, Freddie's not having the best defensive season ever either.
Oh, well, not ever.
Yeah, bum ankle. Things are starting to slow down for Freddie over there.
Now a guy's going to be punished for grinding through an ankle that's probably belongs on a cadaver now.
Weighted on base average, 395 for Alonso, 383 for Freddie.
Ooh,
slugging percentage, 554 for Alonso, 512 for Freddie. Like,
yes, I think gap.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And by the way,
those are just numbers, though, Jay. Hey, like, don't look too far into them.
I won't. It's the All-Star
Matt Olson,
Matt
Olson, by the way, deserves some love in this conversation. Also,
sure, he does.
Pete Alonso has driven in 64 runs to Freddie's 41. 18 home runs for Pedro compared to 9 for Freddie. I don't know, Jay. Hey, this feels like anti-Mets bias for you.
That's
good. Glad it feels that way. NL second base. Anybody going against
bitter aunt?
Just Aunt Justine is fucking furious.
She is just very sassy today.
Ketel Marte. Anybody going against it? NL second base. Tommy Edman, Nico Horner, Jeff McNeil, Brendan Donovan, the others.
Brendan Donovan has had an excellent year, but is it unfair to say he's a utility guy?
No.
I think
predominantly second base, but still a utility guy.
Still floating around.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Call him whatever the hell you want. Ketel Marte
is better
than he's ever been and was already the best in the league. So I don't care that he missed like a couple of weeks or whatever it was. The guy's had a full half season with value in the 52 games or 53 games that he's played. So
could be
one of the easiest votes on the page, actually, for me, at least. You know what's going to be very, very interesting?
What, shortstop?
I'm not ready to say that yet.
What?
I was going to say if Ketel could make some sort of interesting Hall of Fame push, but I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
Does Aunt Justine have the balls right now?
No, I don't think she does.
to put together a Ketel Hall of Fame?
No, not on the fly.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay, all right.
Not on the fly.
I'm not passionate enough about it. I have the skills to do it, of course, but not the
I'm
not the
passionate
verve
enough
right
about
now.
Okay.
Shortstop, Lindor or Mookie?
I did not go either.
You went Ellie?
I did.
Okay.
I think it's. I mean, I'd like to go Ellie because that falls in line with
Sure.
with where we were at the beginning of this thing.
Yep.
I think it's tough not to go Mookie.
Mookie's having an awful year. I mean, well, I think the last time I checked, Mookie had like a 2.7 WAR, but the
Is that what
offensive,
it
he's
is?
got like a 750 OPS.
Has it been bad?
Yeah.
Why don't really?
Well, he has been offensively, he has not been to his standards at all, particularly power wise. So that's absolutely true. His overall package of value, he has been statistically, and I think by the eye test too, really, really good defensively. So it's just a different package for Mookie than we are used to seeing. I don't think he would get my vote, but it's to say he's having a bad year is simultaneously both true and untrue, which is a little weird.
Oh, it's a compliment to how
What?
great he's been.
For sure.
That's
For sure.
the WAR. Yeah.
And that he's transitioned so well to a premier defensive position in the middle of his career.
Yeah. Like,
Defensive.
what is he, 32?
Yeah, I would have said about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, you know what? I am going to stick with Mookie because that's going to be the flag that I fly. Is his ability to transition to that position, the demand of that position.
The
for
flag that you're going to fly is the one where you didn't realize that he wasn't that
me, that he wasn't good.
good
Yeah.
offensively.
Yeah, that's
so
fine.
you
You
gotta
just
go down with the
stick.
ship.
Yep, got to stick with it. A lot of compelling cases. Dallas made a great case there for Mookie. Wait, that was me. Lindor, Ellie, but you guys are all wrong. It's the easiest call. It's the guy who just crossed the fucking Baines meter. You
Trea
fools.
Wow.
Trey Turner. God damn. It was
God
close. I was gonna go with Lindor, and then obviously Trey Turner had the greatest accomplishment that any career could have, and I think we need to properly honor that at the All-Star game. Third base, Lindor did it before, but that's last season or 2 seasons ago.
Ellie
rather.
with a better weighted runs created plus.
Third base, Manny Machado, double the number of votes as Max Muncy.
That's correct.
Dallas just screamed Eugenio Suarez.
No,
Is it Machado or is it Muncy?
it is Machado, yes.
It's not new eyeballs. Muncy with new eyeballs been absolutely raking with new eyeballs.
Unfortunately, we have to consider his old eyeballs.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I mean, we do. It's part of the record. It's part of the sworn testimony. Machado, it is easy call. Hall of
Very
Famer.
easy.
Another great season. In fact, in a lot of ways, a lot better than the season he delivered last season. So that's kind of cool to see that it's not just a straight decline for Manny Machado. Another all-star season for the Hall of Famer. We are going to have an interesting conversation about Manny Machado's Hall of Fame place maybe later this year, off-season. It's probably an off-season conversation. Outfield, PCA, Teoscar, and Kyle Tucker are the top. Ronald Acuna Jr., Juan Soto, and Corbin Carroll charging fast, though. Carroll's candidacy is probably DOA with the wrist or wrist fracture. How are you guys parsing this?
They got 2 out of the 3 correct. PCA
Okay.
and Tucker correct.
Yes.
The
Is
missing name.
Tatis Jr. not on
Nope.
there?
Nope. That's not the
He's
missing
eighth.
name.
He's eighth in the voting.
Jay, hey, tell the
8th.
folks at home who the missing name is.
Who is the missing name that you want in the NL outfield vote? James Wood.
Yes, correct. Thank you, Jay. Hey, it's
Yep.
James Wood.
I think you're right, buddy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the guy.
I think you're right, actually. I think PCA and Wood have to be in the game.
I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr. No love for the early surge here.
No.
I just think it's tough, man. Like, you want him in for star power, but why? What are you telling Juan Soto then, who's been around the whole season and is throwing up a 150 weighted runs created plus or whatever?
I don't know that Ronnie's 225 in his short burst is better, and that if it keeps going, that I mean, I'm just trying to have a little fun.
What about
Just
Kyle
trying to
Tucker?
have a little.
Not fun.
Yeah, Kyle Tucker, absolutely.
Just not as fun.
Absolutely.
Not as fun.
I mean,
Is he not
you
fun
could be
enough
fully
for you?
you could be fully justified in wanting to roll out the three guys who have been there, done that, and vote Tucker, Acuna, Soto, right?
I guess.
Yes.
I just feel like PCA has been so overwhelmingly excellent that he probably belongs in the game, and
he's
James
a
Wood are two of the
star.
brightest stars in the NL. Yeah.
Like PCA is a star. Like he's got. I know that like you have.
I mean, Acuna and
established-
Soto are stars too.
Yes, like you have established stars in Soto and Acuna, but I feel like the All-Star game is where you can take what PCA has built this year and push him towards, mainstream superstar.
I agree. And
Yes.
Wood the same thing, and,
Like,
and
he
that's part
has-
of the purpose
yeah.
of the event. Yeah.
Yeah, like they both have, they're both ready to become stars in the eyes of everybody.
Honestly,
Well,
I
this
think
is
the
the
best.
national scene.
I think the best case scenario here for baseball is that PCA and Wood.
Dude, the home
I
run.
mean, Wood's not going to get voted in, so that's not a realistic scenario. He's going to have to get named. But I think at this point, it's probably PCA, Soto, and Acuna. Because all due respect to Kyle Tucker, he's just not the same level of marketing as those other guys. Even if statistically he's been better than the other two. All right,
This
so
is
what's
not
the
a hot
official
take,
vote
by
here?
the way. I've maintained this for many years now. The home run derby is a far better star maker than the All-Star game itself.
100% agree. I think we all agree.
Yeah, I'm going PCA, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Tatis.
Okay,
So you're voting for names. You're not voting for performance.
that's classic.
You want to put asses in seats. You don't want to reward great performance.
I'm rewarding the great bounce back for Ronald Acuna Jr.
No.
to show up like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I know, but like you have to reward the full body of work. Like you have Mookie Betts at shortstop because you want to sell tickets. That's what you
No,
want. to
look,
do.
if Jay Hay can give guys a trip to Atlanta just because they're not as good as other guys, then I reserve the right to do the
Outta
same.
here.
I think my ballot
Also-
so far has been the best.
Also, I'm going to backtrack on what I said about the Soto Acuna thing because Acuna's basically been just as good as Juan Soto in like fewer than half as many games. So I actually do think Acuna's got a much more compelling candidacy
Thank
than
you.
Soto specifically. I don't know if it's more compelling than Tucker or Wood or PCA, but specific to Soto, I will get in line with that one. So I'm going to vote. I'm voting PCA Wood Acuna.
I like the James Wood pick. I do. I understand
Thanks.
Jared's bias there,
Yeah.
but I
Bias.
can appreciate it. Yeah, I can appreciate it.
That pretty much wraps up the conversation, actually, because the last two are really not conversations. Will Smith
Nope.
at catcher has almost 3 times the number of votes as Carson Kelly and has definitely been the best catcher. And designated hitter is Shohei, who has more than twice as many votes as Rafael Devers and has, of course, been the best designated hitter. So
That is easily one of my favorite sneaky takes. Is that I said this years ago that Will Smith is probably the MVP of that team and will not get that recognition because of the other guys on the team and what they're capable of doing. But for what he does for that club and in that position and how he has consistently performed, I think things look a hell of a lot different if there is no Will Smith in the mix.
there are very few catchers who, through their age 30 season, have put up a 128 OPS plus. I know he didn't debut until 24, but 2,700 plate appearances, that's not nothing for a catcher. A really, really high offensive bar for Will Smith, and obviously that's not the entirety of his game. But all right, that's talking All-Star game. Get out there and vote, people. Thursday at noon Eastern.
Do you not do Shohei at DH? That's just a given.
No, I did. I just blew right through it. I said he.
Yeah, we just
Unless you want
didn't
to make the case for Devers.
No.
Okay.
I do think it's fucked up though. Like if you get traded like that you just
Yeah.
don't get an All-Star nod because an executive made a decision. I think that's fucked up.
Hang
Or
with him.
basically get removed from serious MVP conversation in most cases too,
Right.
Because, and not that Devers was really going to be in that conversation, but
No.
he's a very high level player. He's not far from the type of player that would be removed from that. conversation.
Yeah, like guys that have like language in their contract that incentivizes top 10 MVP finishes and All-Star selections and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fucked
when
up.
you're pissed. You're like, fucking, really? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Some asshole in the crowd in Chicago last night was talking about Ketel Marte's mother, who passed away in 2017, and he was in tears on the mound. I don't know if you saw that. That was fucking weird. They kicked the guy out. I'm sure he's banned, but yeah, like that dude's face should be posted everywhere. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, like that was, I mean, because look, people say mean, cruel, terrible, horrible things all the time, every day to these guys. I just, it's not like I want to know what was said. I don't need to hear it, but good Lord, like what are you doing where you get to a point where you say something so vile to another human at a sporting event like that? And the guy's playing, like he's a player.
To Ketel Marte too, who based on all the evidence we have was just a player on the other team, right? Like, or you know what I mean? Like, it's not like this
like
is it's just crazy.
I don't understand that. I do not understand getting to that place mentally where you're like, you know what? This shit has to be said. Marte, you son of a bitch. Here you go. You're going to hear it from me. Like, how do you get there? How do you get there? Good Lord. So, yeah, it sucks that whatever was said, obviously hit home, obviously cut deep. And that's brutal. I'm just glad that Marte obviously has folks in his circle and on the team that are able to kind of, take care of him and hopefully help soften the blow. But yeah, I mean, and look, I think the flip side of it, you hate to think about it this way, but there's going to be a lot of people who are going, oh, what is he that mentally weak? He can't handle somebody just talking a little shit to him. He can't handle that, blah, 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 blah. Like, buddy, that's not what you don't go to work and you don't show up to try to do your job thinking you're going to have to ignore vile things of that nature. Like that's not, it's okay if somebody's affected by something like that because you don't ever hear and you would never hear anything like that for any reason whatsoever. So if there's anybody out there that's like, oh, well, he needs to toughen up. He needs to, you need to tuck it in.
Yeah, it's just, it's very bizarre that if you're watching, and I know that like there's been stuff written about this recently, like the Liam Hendriks stuff, and we've had more and more athletes coming out saying that the threats and just like the nature of like what fans are saying, it's just it's evolved to such a nasty play. It's more just like it used to be you suck and get off the field, and now it's like I'm gonna kill you and I'm gonna kidnap your kids and like talking about dead parents. Like why?
Sports betting.
Yeah, I mean that's what Hendriks said. Yeah, like that's what Hendriks said.
Yeah, I can tell you unequivocally that has made a massive impact on fan-player interaction. The reason that you might have a favorite player and the reason they might become your favorite player is because they get the hit to lock in the parlay, right? They are now your worst enemy because they did not get the fifth strikeout so that your 4.5 higher hit. And now you're going to spend the next week on this individual's social media page, dragging them, telling them how terrible they are, why they need to quit baseball and need to do something else in their life because your parlay didn't hit.
Yeah.
Like that's it. That is a 100% it. That's why you go from telling somebody that they suck to now threatening their life, because before you didn't have $100 on it. Now you do. Maybe you shouldn't have. And now you feel some kind of way. You feel like you have a green light to just start being an absolute asshole.
Yep. Well, that's why you wager what responsibly. That's all.
Correct.
Oneil Cruz. This is not the first time this happened. So he didn't run out a double play, got yanked from the game. There was a play, I don't know, I can't remember if it was a couple days ago, if it was last week, sometime within the last week, where a ball got by him in center field and he just stood there, watched it, waited for backup to come go field the ball behind him. You can't do that. You have to at least make even if it's disingenuous, even if you don't even really, you're not going to be the guy that gets the ball, make some sort of an effort to go after it, and then you can kind of veer off when someone else gets to it before you. But the optics of letting a ball get by you and then just standing there and watching as others go after it, it's not a good look, especially when you're on a team where things are not going well, and there's no excuse not to hustle at the end of the day. Like that's the one thing that you owe to your teammates and to your manager, is that you give your best and you hustle. If you don't do that, it's a slap in the face of the teammates, and you do deserve to get benched for that.
And credit to Don Kelly, because you're in a spot where you're in a spot where you are trying to, and I talk about this with Mark Kotze, I talk about this with guys like Will Venable, and maybe this is probably more geared towards Will Venable's situation and his experience right now than Kotze, who's probably closer to the other side of it. But you are trying to manage growing players and winning ball games in a business where we are very, very results oriented at this level, right? This is the elite level, and wins matter. This is not this is just not a developmental league. And I went on a rant about that a while ago. So you have to make a decision at some point in time on what sort of culture you are looking to cultivate. And if there has been problems that have persisted that could be impacting the culture and that could be impacting how we go about our business, and if that hasn't been addressed to an extent, and it is now, look, if you're not vying for the division, now's as good a time as any to make sure that we have a really, really good understanding on the expectations here. This is how I expect us to perform. This is how I expect us to play this game. If you are not going to do that, I don't care who you are on this roster. I don't care how much money we are paying you. You will do things a certain way, or you will not play the game of baseball here. And I am more than okay with sending that message. Why? Because I think we all understand I love me some Oneil Cruz. I made Jared buy me an Oneil Cruz jersey. I love Oneil Cruz. But God damn it, when you have that kind of talent, there comes a responsibility with it. That just is the way it is. And you hear coaches talk about it all the time. You know how much easier life is when your best player in the room is also your hardest worker? You leave no excuses available. There are none. I watched it with Marcus Semien. When Marcus Semien is your best player and is still out there at 12 o'clock every afternoon, turning himself into a Gold Glove caliber defender, are you showing up late? You don't have anything that you could be working on? You don't have anything that you could start to refine? Nothing? So that's what happens when you have the best player and some of the best talent on your team also working as hard as they can, is everybody shows up and there's an inherent level of accountability. And that's what has to happen if you're going to turn culture around, if you're going to turn the winning expectations into actual fruit that bears. You have to do things like this. You have to set a tone. So tip of the cap to Don Kelly. And like I said, I don't give a damn who it is. It sucks that it's Oneil, because you don't want this kind of stuff continuing to happen with this dude, because he's so fucking good.
Justin Havens, any thoughts on Oneil Cruz gate?
Lower it. Blah 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 blah.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, lower it.
Dallas actually touched on the point that I wanted to make there at the end, so I don't want to be obnoxious about it, but I do think that Oneil Cruz is the most important player on the offensive side, or the position player side of the baseball for this organization. And listen, I'm not like old man. I'm not going to get crazy mad about a guy not running out in one instance, but I do think it's as indicative of the overall problem for Pittsburgh as any other individual thing that they have going on, that this is the guy that it kind of hinges on offensively, when he's already such a flawed offensive player as it is, just generally in terms of the skill set and putting it into play. and that you have this going on the side to everything that Dallas said about the accountability and the culture and all that sort of stuff. I just think that, not to make too big of a deal about it, but I just think it's a huge issue in terms of them moving to where they want to go and this talent base that they're trying to build.
And look, Jay, we don't have to crush this, but as Pirates fans, you start to think, is there going to be a moment where Paul Skenes steps in and says, hey, this is what we need to do collectively as a group, right? I don't think that anybody would argue that he is positioned to have that conversation, that if Paul Skenes wanted to grab the doors of the clubhouse and tell the writers to hold on for just a minute, we've got a conversation to have, and close those doors and have that conversation, nobody would look at Paul Skenes awkwardly. You would not ask, where the fuck is Paul Skenes coming from, right? So whether or not that's something that could happen or should happen, I think that conversation could start, because you want somebody in the room to make sure that we're all pulling on this rope in the right direction at the same time. And if we're not, well, what are we doing here? And for Paul Skenes, by all accounts, we all know that this dude wants to win, is as competitive as it gets. And if there's going to be things that are preventing them from doing this, that maybe a conversation can help, it might be time to have one of those.
Well, Jay Hay wanted to lower it. How about we raise it a little bit, because Paul Skenes is on the mound.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's on the mound today. Hell of a matchup today, by the way.
Woo!
Did anyone have anything that they wanted to offer to this matchup?
This kid. Oh, this kid's a fucking just a stick of dynamite, dude. This is real shit. We're talking 96 mile an hour sliders. The fact that this dude is almost at 8 feet worth of extension down the slope, right? More extension than anybody in baseball. More than that sexy bastard out in Hollywood, Tyler Glasnow, Jared. This guy is handing the ball to the catcher, and it's 100+ miles an hour out of the hand. There is some serious fuck you dripping from the baseball out of the hand of Mizorowski. It is unbelievable to watch. Unbelievable.
Is this a top 3 pitching matchup of the season?
Yes.
Yeah, like as far as fucking firepower and as far as just pure unadulterated sex on the mound, yes.
Yeah. Because part of the top pitching sometimes is newness, right? Stuff we haven't seen, stuff we're not used to. That's what made Paul Skenes last year so exciting. And in a lot of ways, I think this Mizorowski is this year's Paul Skenes. Like, statistically, the way they go about it, like it's basically like we're seeing Skenes in a lankier, somehow a taller, lankier body or whatever. But like, I think all that separates these two, obviously Mizorowski has to do it, but like, it's basically just that Skenes was the number 1 overall pick and this guy wasn't, right? Because he had a 2.13 in the minors this year. He had 127 strikeouts and 97 in the 3rd innings last year. Over half of his fastballs, to Dallas's point about the velocity, are 100 miles an hour or greater. He's thrown over 100 miles, more than half. That's the highest rate in baseball. In terms of like what these guys were doing, like obviously we've talked about how Skenes has backed off a little bit on the top end velocity and like going all out, but like the first pitch each of these guys threw was 100+ miles an hour. The first time we ever saw them, Skenes touched 100+ 17 times in his debut. Mizorowski did it 14 times, 29 triple-digit heaters in his first 2 for Skenes, 43 for Mizorowski. So like there is a lot to be like, compared, contrast here. I'm just excited that it's happening head to head. And that we kind of see like last year's version and this year's version of like the new toy head to head at what could be it may not be the best that we ever see these two, but it also might be, because how much better does it really get than this per pitch per inning,
Yeah.
It's interesting
this
that
is going to be exciting.
His mechanics, like his delivery is so much quicker than Skenes.
No, well, here's so Jared,
He's just boom, right here it is.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I won't reveal what I have seen with Mizorowski, but there's something there. All I'll tell you is if you're looking to figure out what pitch might be coming, he's telling you. If you're looking. But the fact that he is so simple in his movement down the slope. What'd you say?
I just called you a hater. I was just kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm sure you're on it. I'm just joking around.
Oh, I'm on it. And I'll send you. Yeah. I mean, I'll show you. You guys will be like, yep, there it is. But the simplicity to his movement. Paul Skenes, right, has that slight little gather step before he starts to work down the mound. And for Mizorowski, it's get it and go. Get it and go. It is a simple, very, very basic movement down the mound, and then it's thunder up your ass.
Yeah, it's very quick and compact. The highest max velocity for starting pitchers this season, Skubal, 102.6.
103, yeah.
Mizorowski, 102.2. Hunter Green, 101.8. Jordan Hicks, 101.7. And Roki Sasaki, 100.5.
And remember, Skubal's...
He has the second fastest fastball or singular pitch by a starter this year.
And Skubal's 103 was on the last pitch of the game.
Yeah.
Let's just remember that. Let's not... That bears acknowledging. It was... Oh, God. It was a great scene. One of the best pictures of the year so far was him just fucking screaming and then him just kind of patting the glove and looking up like, I just absolutely fucking dominated, didn't I? Yes, I did. That was fun.
His second pitch in the big leagues was 102. That was his second pitch in the big leagues. And his first was 100.
I just couldn't imagine. Like, do you know how cool that must be? I mean, I know how cool it is. I've never felt it, but buddy, to walk into the big leagues blowing 100, how much more confidence do you need? Yeah, I throw 100. Here's the big leagues, hundos. It's just wild. Wild.
Yeah. I'm excited. What time's first pitch, Jay? Hey.
2:10 Eastern.
2:10. All right, let's get the fuck out of here so we can settle in for that. Anything else that you guys want to hit on today?
No, that's it.
I have some final nugs and final thoughts, but other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, my final thought. What a career, Whit Merrifield, the hit king.
Oh, nice, good.
Congratulations.
3-hit Whit.
Yep, 3-hit Whit. Reached out to him yesterday. Gave him the big congrats. I was like, my only regret is that you never ended up with the Red Sox. That almost happened. I forget what the return was going to be, but the Red Sox wanted him for 2018. Like he was supposed to be the guy after Pedroia when Pedroia went down, but they couldn't get a deal done. That would have been fucking awesome. Not that team needed any more help, but imagine having Whit Merrifield as your second baseman on top of the team that already was in 2018. That would have been great. But yeah, hell of a career for Whit Merrifield. He was always great to us on the pod. We did content with him. We did the video content during spring training,
Phenomenal.
and he would pop in for the podcast here and there. He also popped by the office in New York. Yeah, he was great to us. So happy for him. He gets to ride off into the sunset and hang his hat on one hell of a big league career. So congratulations to Whit Merrifield. Jay, hey, the Nugs.
Well, I'm going to start with Whit Merrifield then, because I also wanted to give him a tribute. Led the league in triples once, led the league in doubles once, led the league in stolen bases as Major League Baseball, led the league in stolen bases once, led the league in caught stealing once, led the league in hits twice, and led the league in sacrifice flies once. That's for Tim Kirkjian, because we all love sac flies. If you're inclined to be maybe a little bit of a detective, see what's still out there. Shout out to Whit Merrifield. Jared mentioned it. Stop by the pod. Episode number 59 released September 12th, 2018.
Wow.
So, yep, that was Whit Merrifield's official appearance. I know there was some other stuff that you guys talked about, but the official appearance was episode 59 in September of 2018. So congrats to him on the previously named podcast. A few nugs here. Chase Burns, as was noted earlier in the pod, he became the first starting pitcher in the expansion era to strike out the first 5 batters he faced in his debut. And that was part of the Reds becoming 1-31 when trailing after 6 innings. That was their first such win. They had been 0-31 this season. Framber Valdez, we did not talk about the Astros, obviously. Can't talk about everything, but we can mention that he continued his hot streak. He's now at a 1.80 ERA over his last 6 starts. And unlike when Paul Skenes pitches and does the same thing, the Astros are 6-0 over those 6 Valdez starts. Shout out to friend of the pod and just friend of us, Sarah Langs, who had this Christian Moore note that Jared tried to avoid, but that we absolutely must mention before we get out of here. He is the second player in at least the expansion era, so since 1961, with multiple game tying or go-ahead homers in the 8th inning or later of a single game within his first 12 career games, joining Kyle Schwarber on July 21st, 2015, and Moore is the only one of those two to actually hit the walk-off homer. I can tell you from reading that stat and knowing how you get those things, that took a lot of effort. So thanks to Sarah for digging through on that one. And because I love Jared and I don't want to end on a bad note with him, I will note that Garrett Crochet is up to 135 strikeouts through 17 starts. The only other AL left-handed pitchers to do that in the wild card era, 135 or more through 17. Shane McClanahan, Carlos Rodon, Chris Sale, David Price, Johan Santana, and Randy Johnson. That's a lot of Cy Youngs in there. And those are the Nugs.
Wow. Thank you, Justin Havens. Okay. Dallas, you're in for tomorrow?
In for tomorrow. My final thought, however, is Denzel Clark has won the electric play of the week for a month in a row.
Wow.
That's right. And I don't know that there's ever been, I think I may have posed this question, or maybe it was posed to me. I'm not sure. I don't know that there has been another player to show up and instantly become unequivocally the best defender at that position, the way that Denzel Clark has arrived in the big leagues.
But he's unbelievable. He's doing shit. As they say, you can watch baseball your entire life and still see something that you've never seen before. I feel like Denzel Clark brings that to the table almost on a nightly basis.
Daily. He just jumped ship against Skubal yesterday. First pitch fastball, rode him out to center. So, I mean, the offense, obviously a lot slower and a lot further behind than the glove. But if you were going to plant a defender of his caliber anywhere on the diamond, it's tough not to think it's in center field because of what he's doing and the run prevention that he's providing. It is otherworldly to watch. So for an award that is handed out and nobody had ever won more than twice, Denzel has now won it for a fucking month straight.
I believe on the catch that we all went crazy about. I believe Jenny got the electric play of the week reference into the call of that catch.
She did.
If I recall correctly. Yeah, that's professional stuff. I know what makes Denzel Clark cool is the visual of the defense and not the stats of the defense. But Dallas said something that I think is worth reiterating about him showing up and being the best, because I'm sure there are people listening here and being like, oh, but what about Rafaela or what about PCA or what those amazing defensive players, right? Amazing defensive players.
Great.
Denzel Clark has been as good or as productive statistically by outs above average or defensive runs saved as Pete Crow Armstrong in like a third of the innings this season. Just let that sink in. Okay. Obviously a lot of noise with defensive stats and short samples and all that sort of stuff. But to the extent that you can buy into any of this stuff for any of these guys, and I think there's real stuff here, Denzel Clark is on a completely different level than even the guys we were going crazy about earlier this season, and justifiably so. That's my double second final thought.
Thank you, Jay. Tomorrow, Dallas, you're in.
Yeah. We have a
early recording, right?
Yeah, we're going early. But yeah, because I got a day game, getaway day.
Okay. So that means an early return of Family Feud.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
We're back.
It's been a minute. So we will be back tomorrow with the return of Family. This week flew by. The fuck? By the way, last but not least, All-Star voting. It does end tomorrow, Thursday at noon. So if there is a player that you feel has great injustice being done to him, get on the internet. Go vote for your favorite players. We'll be back here tomorrow with more BID and Family Feud, the return. Can't wait. We'll see you then.
Vote Jay Willie. We go.